Welcome back. Ladies and gentlemen, it is HoopTalk, the podcast. We are back at Tyler's crib.
Yeah.
We got a lot on the plate for today, but we got our same usual people. We're going to go ahead and actually play 2K in the background, so we pardon any interruptions that we may have throughout the day. But we're going to try our best to stay focused. We're going to get right into it, man. As usual, we're going to try and get started with our out-of-bounds question of the day before we check it up and get on to our topics of the day. So, Pluto, let us know. What is the out-of-bounds question of the day?
So you guys know me. I'm always late to the party, but I always have some good questions. And the question I have today would be, who are your guys' dumbest? Well, the dumbest NBA players you guys ever seen?
You want to go first?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to start off with the most recent, John Morant. A lot of the players I'm going to say are not on the court. A lot of them are off the court because they made bad decisions. John Morant, you know, the gun thing, continuing to come back, and he does it again, unfortunately.
Yep.
I hope that changes. I hope he doesn't get banned again, but that was pretty stupid. The other one is going to have to be Nerlens Noel. I don't know if you guys remembered, he got offered that $80 million contract from the Mavs, and he declined it. He blamed it on his agents, sued his agents, and lost because it turned out that it wasn't coming from Rich Paul. So I think he definitely deserves to be up there because since then, what has really happened? Has he got another even
He
decent
sued
contract?
Rich Paul? Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's dumb by itself. You think you're going to win a lawsuit against Rich Paul? The hell?
Dumb as
That's
hell.
crazy.
Yeah.
The last one, all these are more recent. So actually, I'll do this differently. I'm gonna go and say Gil. Gil is definitely one of the dumbest people in the world with the Javaris Crimson thing, bringing a gun into the locker room. What
Are
are you
those
gonna
two
do?
separate things? I don't know that name. Or is that
Javaris
the same
Crimson
person?
is the other guy he was going
Oh, okay.
against.
I
Yeah,
didn't
he
know
brought
that.
the gun for him. I think that was stupid as
It
hell.
was because of money he owed him, right?
Yep.
Yeah,
For gambling.
That's
stupid
crazy.
as hell.
That is pretty dumb. Oh my goodness. I actually, you said 3. I got 5 people on my list.
I can go to 10.
Who I consider. Yeah, I could probably go on for days, but off the top of my head, who I can think of as dumbest players in NBA history, I'll definitely put at 5. I'm gonna put Paul Pierce.
Okay.
I think his basketball IQ and his basketball takes are horrendous.
Worse than mine.
So I feel like if your basketball takes are that bad, you must just not know what the hell you're doing. Like he must just be gifted with basketball skills and no true brain up there because there's no way. There's no way he thinks he's better than Dwayne Wade.
He shot himself on the court.
Yeah, if you're dumb enough to forget to use the bathroom, then that's on you. You know what I mean? So that's my number 5. Number 4, I actually got Latrell Sprewell. Am I pronouncing that right? Sprewell?
I know why.
Yeah, that man has a large array of stupid moments. Not only was he the first Golden State Warriors successful pick after years and years of failing in the draft, he botched that completely by choking out his coach.
He was the first good pick and the first player that I know of that choked a coach.
I
don't think I know
wasn't
any
he the
others.
last one? I don't think anybody else has choked the coach.
Possibly not.
Yeah, and then he also turned down the $3 million or not the 3-year deal that Minnesota was trying to give him.
I gotta feed my family. You bitch.
No, that's exactly the quote that I saw on social media or on Google or something, wherever I looked it up. But yeah, his career just disappeared after that. If he would have just taken that, he could have probably had a longer career at best. Number 3 on my list, though, y'all gonna remember this guy, Denzel Valentine.
The Chicago Bulls put so much work into it.
I have never seen such a terrible lowlight reel in my life.
Which is the lowest light? Was it the attempted behind the back pass or the deep 3 with
the
like
3 100? The deep 3 had the announcers going out of script. Listen, I'm media trained. You know what I mean? Like I know what you're supposed to say and not supposed to say. The announcers are not supposed to address a moment like that with so much personal energy behind it. I promise you they got either written up or fined or something. But rightfully so.
I was gonna say, were they wrong?
Rightfully so, because I don't know what Denzel Valentine was thinking, but that was one of these stupidest moments. And he has plenty of other moments, which when you round them all together, makes him, from my perspective, a very dumb player. Another one I have, so my last 2, Jordan Poole. Yeah, I have 5 players. Jordan Poole's going to be my second to last one. I think it's very obvious why he appears. I think Jordan Peele appears to be like one of the Poole. I said Peele, didn't I?
Yeah.
Jordan Poole appears to be like one of the dumbest players. Like he plays basketball in such
And
an
he's
idiotic
paired
way.
with another person who's considered really low IQ in Kuzma at times.
Yeah,
which
Kuzma's
is-
definitely smarter than Poole. I'll give you
Yeah,
that for sure.
Yeah,
He's
I'm
a little bit of LeBron rubbed off on him, but none of Stephen Curry rubbed off on Poole. None of Stephen Curry
The
whatsoever.
3-point shooting attempts did.
Yeah,
Just the
sure.
attempts.
Not the makes. And then my last one, and you already mentioned it, so I won't go too deep into it. But John Morant, he made stupid decision after another, almost ruined his career. If he wasn't so phenomenal, any other player they would be out the league right now.
Right.
Any other player, but because he's so fantastic, he survived. But any other player would be out the league right now. So that definitely makes him my number one stupidest player. And listen, no offense to anybody on my list, I'm just saying y'all made a lot of stupid decisions. I'm sorry.
Yep.
So if you make a lot of stupid decisions, you know what I mean, then you might be a little stupid.
If this gets you, shout out for watching, first of all.
For real.
I
For real.
No,
If it
facts.
touches you, I'm impressed.
Listen, don't forget, subscribe, like, comment, and share with all your friends and family, bro.
Yes, sir.
Thank you,
You
Jordan
can come
Poole.
on the
Thank you,
show.
John Morant.
You can dunk on me. I'm unathletic. You can do whatever.
But last but not least, Lando, who are your dumbest players of
All
all
right,
time?
so I had a short list and a quick list. First player I want to throw on there, and I don't think they're dumb they're dumb as a person. I just thought their decisions were horrible. But I'm gonna go OJ Mayo. I'm
for
surprised
sure.
you guys didn't pick OJ. OJ is now in Africa, I
Damn.
think, doing something or trying to live life. So I encourage it, but he did make some dumb mistakes. And I'm surprised we didn't even mention this one, Jonte Porter. I'll take him up there. He is the dumbest
I forgot.
NBA player.
I did forget about Dante Porter. Damn.
And then
The whole Porter family.
I got a whole list for y'all boys. I'm gonna go Glenn Davis as well. Big baby
I was gonna
Davis.
say that, bro.
You should have. He tried to defraud the NBA, and
He didn't try.
He
Bro,
did.
he did for a little
He
while.
did. He did.
That's why it was so
gotta
bad.
give him that. And then this one's just a little hate. I'm gonna throw Rashad McCant out there. Every time I hear your takes, I wasn't just a professional basketball player, but I know I'm smarter than you. And last but not least, and this is just a little hate. I feel like I'm really just hating. I'm gonna throw up there. Man, should I do this?
Good, man. If they're
I'm
watching,
gonna do Karl Malone,
if
and
you're
we know
watching,
why.
comment.
Yeah, bro.
I feel like Karl Malone is dumb, but it's a type of dumb I really can't discuss on YouTube. But you guys know why, and it really gives me the ick factor. I think John Morant's on that Mount Rushmore. And if we're going basketball, I'll throw JaVale McGee on the Wizards. I'll give me that.
Not even just the Wizards, bro. The Nuggets was just as bad.
Yeah,
The
those are-
Nuggets is where he has that worst highlight of
Yeah.
him running down the court.
Yeah, and then I have a couple other players, but honorable mentions I want to throw out there. I think AI had a pretty. I feel like a lot of people blame AI's career on the NBA, but I think I blame AI's career on AI. And the last one,
What the hell did AI do?
Wait, what did you do?
yeah, he never won, and on top of that, everywhere he went, he kind of forced himself out.
God damn, that makes him dumb.
I just feel like he
Jesus.
made dumb decisions. I feel like he went to team up with Carmelo.
What kind
when
of
they both did.
criteria do we have in place here to call
I
somebody
just
dumb?
feel like he's dumb for the career
Listen,
moves.
I've owned a
I
semi-pro
was
team
gonna
for
throw
2
Carmelo
years
up there too.
and lost both years. Does that make you dumb?
Carmelo should be up there.
Make better decisions, Dons. But yeah, and Carmelo too. I feel like Carmelo made a lot of dumb career moves. I feel like he had an opportunity to go and win a chip with Braun, and he decided to try to do it with Stoudemire, and we saw what happened there. But yeah, that's my list.
Damn,
pretty
those
long.
last two. It's crazy, man. But
Yeah,
shout
yeah.
out to y'all if y'all watching. We apologize for the slander, but at the end of the day, you made the decisions that led us to this conversation. So
We got here because of you making good entertainment.
I appreciate y'all for giving us the content. But like I said, man, don't forget, subscribe, like, comment, and tell us who your top 3 dumbest players of all time are. And tell us why. We'd love to hear it. But let's carry on. Like I said, we got 2K playing in the background. Unfortunately, our secondary camera continues to freeze, so we can't show y'all the ass whooping that Tyler's going through right now. So while they play 2K, we're going to try our best to discuss some basketball around the world. I believe, did I actually save our... Ooh, man, I hope I didn't forget. But we're going to go ahead and talk about our NBA 2K all-time draft battle recap. We did our draft last week on Instagram Live. Hopefully you guys tuned in. If you did not, go ahead and go on Instagram at atleta.sports. That's where all our content is posted. And we're going to talk about our draft and our recap. Rob isn't able to join us for the podcast just because apparently he has a family and whatnot. But we'll talk through.
Welcome, kids.
But we'll talk through his draft choices. The number one pick.
Sorry.
All right, that's what we're gonna do there. But our number one draft pick of the day was Pluto himself. He got the number one overall pick, and with that number one overall pick, I can't talk today. He chose LeBron James. He made some questionable decisions. I'll put them up on the screen for you guys to enjoy them. But this is Pluto's team. His team, let me pull it up on my phone because it looks too small on my screen right here. I'll give you one quick second, y'all. All right, but his team consists of his starting five is Magic Johnson, Ray Allen. Yes, you did hear that right, Ray Allen. Dwayne Wade at small forward. This is not a typo. This is correct.
And he's balling.
LeBron James at the 4 and Nikola Jokic at the 5. You guys can see that on the screen.
I don't think Ray Allen scored yet.
No, he has not. He'll find his way.
He's my favorite mismatch.
We all drafted a 6th man of the year for the 6th round just to keep it entertaining. I don't think any of us are actually going to use it. We should have made a rule that we have to use him, but I guess we don't have to. He drafted Jamal Crawford with a 6th man of the year pick. Then he went on to go with Carmelo Anthony, Joel Embiid, Paul George, Allen Iverson, and Dennis Rodman. So leave a comment. Let us know. Rate his team from 1 to 10. 10
nice.
Being great, 1 being trash. Be nice as much as you can. Give us a rating and tell us why you rated it that. Now, the next pick was Rob, who's not able to join us, but he'll be joining us for some of the games that we'll be posting on YouTube. Rob had the 2nd overall pick, and he drafted, was it Kobe or Jordan? Kobe, wasn't it?
It was... He drafted Jordan first, and then he drafted Kobe, and then he drafted from there. I don't remember exactly.
Yeah, so I have it here. I just didn't know which one was first. But yeah, he picked Jordan with his 1st overall pick, and he went on to draft Kobe Bryant, James Harden, Kevin Durant, and Tim Duncan. A very large slew of offensive players, but very successful in the 2K simulations we've done so far.
His bench is purely defense. Kawhi... It's crazy.
Yeah, and then his bench unit is going to be his 6th man of the year of choice was Tony Kukoc. Then he went with Kawhi Leonard, Russell Westbrook, Anthony Davis, Clyde Drexler, and Wilt Chamberlain. So that is his assembly of his 2K draft battle. And you guys let us know. Same thing. Comment below. Let us know from 1 to 10. What do you guys think? His team stacks up with the rest of us. Now, the 3rd overall pick was me. I believe, I actually don't remember. Did I draft Shaq first or Curry first?
You draft
Curry, right? So I went
Shaq.
with Curry with my 3rd overall pick, which I a little bit regretted a little bit, but he does his job. He draws the attention he needs. I tested it out a little bit yesterday, but I drafted Curry with my number 1 pick, which was the 3rd overall pick. And then I proceeded to go with, not in order, by the way. Everything else is not in order. But then I have Tracy McGrady as shooting guard, Scottie Pippen at small forward, Dirk Nowitzki at power forward, and Shaquille O'Neal at center. My 6th man of the year of choice was actually, I switched it, but who did I pick first? We had the decision to switch 1 pick at the
originally
end
I
of the draft.
had McHale.
Yeah.
Which I think would have been a much better pick for your team.
I did have McHale. I mean, I don't really find minutes for Kevin Garnett and Yao Ming as it is. So like, we're at 5 minutes for him.
But it would have been a power forward.
Yeah, true. And my speaking of top 3 dumbest people, I've definitely been dumb. I only had Pluto's team up on the screen this whole time. But there goes my team, Team Nas. And then, like I said, I had Kevin McHale as my 6th man, but I actually ended up going with Antoine Jameson instead as my 1 switch for the day. Then I drafted Kevin Garnett, Jason Kidd, Vince Carter, Klay Thompson, and Yao Ming. And then last but not least, Ty Dolla to my left or to my right.
The best.
There's his team up on the board. He started the draft by drafting where to go. Giannis,
and I did Kareem.
Giannis Antetokounmpo was his 1st overall pick, 4th pick overall in the draft. Then he has Shai Gilgeous-Alexander at the 1. Rest in peace, Jerry West at the 2. Larry Bird at the 3, and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar at the 5. His 6th man of the year was Manu Ginobili. Shout out Manu. And then he drafted Akeem Olajuwon, Jason Tatum, greatest player of all time.
What?
Julius Erving, Luka Doncic, and Derrick Rose. So those were our teams for the draft. Same deal. Go back to my team. I forgot to mention, but go ahead and comment below 1 through 10. What do you guys think my team stacks up? If you were to rank them 1 through 10. And then we got Tyler's team last. Same thing. Comment below 1 through 10 where you guys think we rank. I think, personally, my team is a 10. I'm just saying.
Think so?
We'll see.
Based on the current score, it looks like Tyler's team is about a 6.
Too focused on listening right now.
I wish I could have put it up on the thing, but every time I go up there to fix the camera, it just freezes again. So we're not going to worry about the camera too much. We'll just let you guys know. We are recording this game, so this game will go up on the screen. On YouTube whenever it's done. It's just a practice trial. So we're going to put up a couple practice runs on YouTube, and then next week we'll play our real games. Is that what we're going to do?
Yeah. This is just for fun right now.
Yep.
Yeah, these are just for fun right now, just so everybody can get a hang of it. I haven't played 2K in years, so I needed to get the hang of it a little bit. Remember all the controls, all the buttons, and how everything works. But that's it for our recap. Just for you guys who may have missed the episode on Instagram or may not have time to go check it out. We drafted all-time teams, which is the teams we just went over. We're going to play best of 5 series against each other. It's going to be Orlando versus our friend Rob, whose team was the second team that I went over. And then me and Tyler are going to face each other in the first round, a best of 5, first to 3. And then whoever wins those 2 series is going to go to the championship, and that's how we're going to decide who drafted the best all-time team on 2K. We're going to have some rules here and there, which we'll probably discuss when we play our first official game.
Yep.
We'll talk it over.
Like no off-ball.
Oh, yeah, we're trying to avoid some of the unrealistic stuff of the game, like the off-ball defense is kind of cheesy. The forced fast breaks, We're trying to run as much of legit basketball as we can. It's not always going to work out, but we try our hardest to keep it realistic as we can. But that's enough of that. Our next topic of the day is going to be, what do we got here? We got the Olympics, actually. The 2024 Paris Olympics. And now I'm going to try and shut myself up and let you guys do some talking. But the 2024 Paris Olympics is going on right now. There's a lot of topics to go over there. First, we'll go over the first game that Team USA was able to play, which was versus Serbia. I did not write down the score, but it was a significant win, pretty easy win for them. Based on that game, remember we're talking one topic at a time, so let's try our best not to get ahead of ourselves. But based on that game, just overall, how do you guys think Team USA looked after that first game?
I think they look good, but really quick, I actually want to talk about Jokic. Yeah. In the time that he played, the score was 81-81. So that means, while he was on the court, they were consistently winning. It's crazy that even in Euroball, where he has a team that's not as great as the Nuggets, he's still playing this well. I think he's the best player in the league at this point. I don't think that's even debatable anymore. And he shows it when he plays it with I don't want to say bums, but on that team, it's really just Bogdanovic that plays in the league currently. So I think USA, while they won, did not look as good as they should have. But it was an exhibition. Things happen.
They won by double digits. It was like a 20-point win.
I know, but when you're playing against that level of talent, I do kind of expect that. They played at the level that I didn't expect them at. I wanted them to play better.
I feel like there's a misconception of what Team USA is supposed to do nowadays. The basketball around them has gotten much better, so these teams are going to be able to compete and hold them to lesser numbers and lesser performance than normal. You know what I mean? A 20-point victory. I don't know if they won by 20. You guys can correct me if I'm wrong 15, in the comments.
Right around there.
I do know they won by double digits. It was a decisive win for the most part. They had Serbia had a 10-point lead in the first quarter, I believe, and then Kevin Durant happened, which is one of our topics of the day. But to kind of tackle on your point, I just feel like we're expecting dream team performance, redeem team performance, when in reality those teams were playing barely any NBA players. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Serbia has a couple NBA players. There's other teams.
I think there is more. I think I was definitely discounting them.
Yeah, they definitely have the talent to compete and make USA sweat. Win is a whole different story, but
Yeah.
make them sweat for sure. Like teams in the past didn't have the ability to make Team USA sweat. I can't even name a Serbian player from 2012.
Yeah, I will say this. One thing I am happy about that we did get to watch, we got to see KD come in fresh, no injuries. He was able to go ahead and give you a really solid game of basketball, and it just shows how deep the United States is. We were having this conversation maybe a while ago on the podcast where is it European players that are like better nowadays, or is it United States? Who's more skilled? Honestly, when I look at it, yeah, I do think that their big men are skilled. But at the end of the day, man, we're stronger and we're faster, and I don't think they're ever going to be better at that than the United States. I think we're like over 500 years ahead of them athletically. So at the end of the day, man, it just seems really cool that, one, LeBron's hitting the ground running. I love that for United States. And we have leaders this year. I feel like when we lost and we didn't place, or whatever we placed at, we didn't really have any leaders, so I really do, appreciate this United States team. I think it's very underrated what they're doing and how they're playing. And even against Serbia, I thought Serbia is that's one of the best teams. So we'll see. We still got a lot of Olympic basketball left, and like I said, we have a great team. So,
I think Team USA has more overall greatness.
Yep.
Or not. Let me rephrase that. I didn't mean to say Team USA. I meant like Americans in general have more overall greatness.
Yeah.
However, the foreign-born players, their best players are better than our best players. So when you look at the top players up there, like Jokic, Giannis, Shea, Luka, foreign-born players, they are better than our best players that we would match up with.
Yep.
With exceptions like maybe Curry and Durant and LeBron. But like,
of course,
their best center is Jokic. Our best center would probably be Anthony Davis. Anthony Davis loses that battle. And he has 2 years in a row in the playoffs.
And he was in the Olympics. He's still getting thrown around.
Exactly. Then you got their best power forward is Giannis, which is better than whatever power forward we can throw at them. I mean, you could maybe say LeBron would be the power forward, but like, you can argue Giannis might be a better player currently. You can argue, you might not think so, and I understand. But it's an argument that can be had. And then Luka Doncic versus Stephen Curry, that's a crazy matchup. You know what I mean? Of course, Stephen Curry's a better player, but like Luka can go blow to blow with them. You know, so I feel like they're top heavy, and once you get into the rest of their players, if you were to build a team like their bench and their reserves, our bench and our reserves will be far better than theirs. I think that's where
for sure.
It's just a growing game. You know what I mean? So I think every year it's gonna get worse, or better for them, worse for us. We'll see how these French guys pan out in this year's draft.
Looks so well put together, and I forgot how good Nicholas Batum is. He really is a really good gel player.
In the fourth quarter, yelling, "Why the fuck Batum in?"
I forgot about that.
But back to that USA versus Serbia. So that first game, Tyrese Halliburton and my dog Jason Tatum played 0 minutes in a 20-plus point blowout. Oh yeah, it was 26. That's what it was. It was 20 plus. I remember. Yeah. Now I'm starting to remember all the articles and stuff that I was reading and all the podcasts. It was a 26-point blowout. Pretty decisive. Once Team USA got the lead, they never looked back
at all.
Tyrese Halliburton and Jason Tatum did not play. I know y'all gonna talk shit, but if you give me your honest, unbiased opinion, disregarding the fact that you have a Tatum fan on the couch, what do you think about that decision of Tyrese Halliburton and Jason Tatum not playing?
I think it made sense for Tatum because I kind of looked at it further. He has not been playing too well so far, and I know it's Team USA and they're still going to win, but he hasn't been playing good. So I think we do have to be realistic at some point. He hasn't shot well, which has been consistent since the playoffs. So, I mean, taking out Halliburton, he's playing at a slower pace than I think he plays best at. I think all of those made sense.
For me, with that substitution and him being on the bench, him not getting substituted in, I just feel like it's a learning curve, and I think it's a rite of passage. We've seen all the great NBA players not play at all, and they're still being great and still being one of the top players. So at the end of the day, I feel like I said it's a rites of passage, and I felt like Hallie's, you know, the way he took it in was amazing. It just shows me a lot of his character. But at the end of the day, when it comes to Jason Tatum and not playing, I do think he should have been in that game at least a little bit. Because he's just, I don't know. I don't feel like he should have not played. And I don't like Jason Tatum. I'll be the first
Challenge
one.
that call.
I'm challenging.
Tyler just challenged the second call of the game in 2K.
I dunked on him, and they took the ball from me.
Yeah, he won the first challenge. That's the crazy part. But go ahead. What were you saying?
No, at the end of the day, I just feel like Jason Tatum, it's a rites of passage. I don't feel like he should have not played. I feel like the Duke heads went and talked to Kerr and said, hey, listen, man, you can't let this happen. That's a Duke boy. Everybody thinks it's Nike. I think more of the fact of Kerr, Chesky being, you know, the last coach, and you know how that goes. How you say it? Krzyzewski, my bad.
Never even knew his real name. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Oh, that's his real name.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it's weird. But yeah.
I don't think there's any world where in a 26-point blowout, all 12 players don't touch the court. That makes absolutely no sense.
I agree with you.
Like, as a coach, if Tatum's not having good games, do you not want him to get it going against the other team's reserves?
Yeah.
When realistically, every member of that team is a reserve, except Bogdanovich and Jokic. You know what I mean? Like, 26 points in the fourth quarter, you're up 20-something points, whatever the case is. Why would you not play them both? And honestly, of course, I don't give a damn about Halliburton. But at the end of the day, like, why would you not play them? It doesn't make logical sense. It doesn't matter how bad you're playing. At this point, just be a reserve for this game. You know what I mean? And then at the end of the day, and this is we'll segue to it later. I still have one last topic for this matchup, but at the end of the day, it had nothing to do with him playing bad because he started versus South Sudan. So then, what does it really matter? It had nothing to do with it being bad. He quote unquote went with the matchups that would work. So in his eyes, that's what worked, and of course it did.
There's also a conspiracy that Steve Kerr is trying to destroy the Celtics from the inside by playing Derek White over him.
That's a possibility.
Do you think there's a possibility, you know, to sow some discontent?
The real conspiracy here that I actually think is completely possible is that Nike put out the word that he needs to learn a lesson because of support for Jaylen Brown and the whole conspiracy that he wasn't chosen for Team USA because of his negative remarks on Nike, and Nike is basically funding Team USA this year. So I think that is completely possible. I think that's realistic and barely a conspiracy theory. I think Nike has the power to make it happen, and I think it's real. I think that's a conspiracy theory I can get behind. I'm not a conspiracy theorist type of person. I'm pretty realistic when it comes to most things, but.
It's business, though. It's business.
Yeah, it's business, and I understand that business does sometimes work that way.
Yep.
Do you guys think that Nike would legitimately go out of their way to send out word that they need to send a message to Jason Tatum by not playing him?
I
do think that they have that ability to.
Do you think they would, for real? Like,
I don't think that they would, but have the ability, absolutely.
Yeah.
That makes sense. I think they have the ability. I think they would, for sure.
Yeah, I think Nike has a lot of control. I mean, they controlled I think it was a rumor I heard when Dwight Howard was on that Olympic team. They didn't really want to have Dwight Howard on the team, and because I think he was in a contract, I think it was with Adidas. So at the end of the day, I just feel like Nike does have control. I remember they were cropping him out of pictures where at least his shoes and stuff like that, and just not letting him kind of shine with his brand. So, like I said, they do have a lot of control, I feel like, at the end of the day.
Yeah,
I think Nike is one of the biggest companies in the world. I think it has a lot more power than people like to recognize sometimes.
But I don't think in this case it has anything to do with branding for him. It just has to do with the fact that he supported Jaylen Brown. That's what they're saying. Of course, I don't know if it's 100% true, but I believe it.
Yeah.
Because they have Adidas athletes, they have Under Armour athletes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They have a freaking Skechers athlete. So like, I don't think it's a branding thing. I think it really is like. You show support for our enemy, and now you're going to be our enemy. So either get it together or, you know, you're not going to see another minute on this floor.
I do hope it comes out that the conspiracy theory angle people were getting at, I do hope that comes out to be true. I do think that'd be very interesting if that was the case.
Yeah, that would be outrageous. I think a lot would change. The landscape of the league would change if it comes out that is true. There's sources that can confirm that was a thing that actually happened. But moving on from that matchup, and why I don't believe that his playing poorly really matters, because he literally just started today versus South Sudan. So I think Steve Kerr legitimately did just go with the matchups that, conspiracy aside, I do think that Steve Kerr went with the matchups that he thought would be most favorable.
Yeah.
And he started Curry, Booker, Tatum, LeBron, and AD today. Joel Embiid did not see a single minute versus South Sudan, who was an African team. What do you guys think about that decision?
He hasn't been playing good, so I mean.
But we're back to the whole Jason Tatum thing. Neither has he, but he just started today.
But I think when it comes to South Sudan, you need more speed than you need size.
Yeah,
that's why
very
AD works perfectly for them.
Mm-hmm.
You need people that can move quick, and unfortunately, while Joel Embiid is Joel Embiid, he is slow. I think that is something we have to recognize. I don't think that you need a big body, but again, it is Team USA. They're like the most stacked team we've ever seen. They could do any lineup, and it's going to work very well. Steve Kerr is an anomaly. I don't think Steve Kerr is a real person with the decisions that he makes. We talked about it before, but like him sticking to his lineups only, and that's his only decision making, I think is impacting the way that Team USA plays. Who plays? I think that's all a part of it. He's a weird man.
He is a weird man.
His decisions are just weird to me. I'll never understand it.
Yeah.
Were you saying something?
No, I'm agreeing with Tyler. I think he's a plant. I just feel like he always has some.
Tyler did not say he was a plant.
Pretty much, he said that. Pretty much.
I just think he's a great coach who makes weird decisions at times.
I can agree with that.
Most
too.
times.
All the time.
Every single time.
Yeah. That escalated really quickly.
I just feel like at the end of the day, with the team he has, you got so many pieces. You got so many ways you can win this game. It's really the appropriate way to win. And at the end of the day, you got to kind of just do what's best for. Oh wow, okay. Do what's best for the team, and if it's Jason Tatum playing or if it's Jason Tatum not playing, I mean he does get paid and he's won a lot of the championships lately, so you can't really, discount his discography at all.
I feel like there's no situation where you don't play everybody. I just don't think it makes any sense. Like, if you don't want to play him for a good portion of the game, you can play that man for 5 minutes, 6 minutes easily. I think previous teams had it right when they chose to bring one college player or one recently drafted player.
Yeah.
The Dream Team brought Christian Laettner. The 2012 team brought Anthony Davis.
And Anthony Davis was a dog in college, so it makes sense.
Previous teams, may have brought a player or two. I'm not fully aware of other teams, but I know those two teams brought a most recently drafted player.
Yeah.
Right off of a championship. I believe Christian Laettner won the 1992 college championship.
He did. With the Dukes.
And then Anthony Davis won a championship with Kentucky. So, I think they had the right idea. That also puts you in a situation where now you have 11 spots to really work with because you don't have to play these guys at all. If you do, you can play them in the blowouts, right? So I think the previous teams had the right idea by picking a player like that because it makes rotations much more flexible. But if you're going to sit an MVP, that's a conversation that's going to, bring a lot of negativity. You know what I mean? Like, you just sat an MVP,
Yeah.
And if he would have been healthy last season, he would have been the MVP again. Yeah. So like you sat one of the greatest players in the league right now. You last game you sat an NBA champion. So like
I just got
hold. It was fully green. Why did that not go in? There was nobody around me. I'm sorry.
Challenge
there was nobody
that.
around me, bro.
Challenge that.
It was green. It was full.
That's crazy.
I need the conversations to stop about my team.
Oh, this game is pretty close.
This game's over.
It is, because I got hoed.
Let's
Bro,
go.
that's wild.
Yeah, that's crazy. I don't even know what happened. I wasn't paying attention.
You saw it was green, right?
That Dwayne Wade defense.
Dwayne Wade wasn't even on me.
Rim protector.
I don't think it'll go back that far.
Yeah, well.
We're going to make it go back. I don't care what happens.
That's crazy.
Look at that defense.
Where's the defense? I'm alone right here.
See that contest?
It was green.
Somebody right there. The 2K considers that defense.
No, not from behind anymore.
Well, that's what.
Well, I think we learned something new today, Tyler.
Whatever.
So let's go. Shout out to the Magic. Got the first dub. Let's go.
Pluto just got his first dub. These are all practice games. Keep that in mind, guys. These are all practice games to get us acquainted with the game.
Yes, sir.
But To cap off the whole Embiid situation, at the end of the day, there's no situation where you don't play everybody. I think that's why it's smarter to go with a roster spot or two. That's a little flexible. The thing about it though is with Team USA, they have those spots. They're using it on the wrong players. It's not Jason Tatum that should be sitting. It's Derek White. Derek White's impact is not necessary. Like, you're not going to lose because you decided not to play Derek White. You know what I mean?
No, real quick. Who do you think's playing harder defense, Derek White or Jason Tatum?
Derek White, but who cares? It's Team USA.
No. When it comes to that style of play, I actually think Jason Tatum's a very good defender for that.
No, he is a good... That shit doesn't matter. Derek White is there for you to play with other people's minutes, not like Jason Tatum or Joel Embiid. You know what I mean? Like, it should be Derek White is the odd man out, and then worst case scenario, the last one might be Tyrese Halliburton. If you need to run a 10-man rotation, Tyrese Halliburton is probably the last man out.
Where do you rank Jason Tatum or Joel Embiid in the roster spots? Like, how do you? We should definitely do that.
Jason Tatum's a 6th man.
We think so?
100%.
I'm trying to think.
100%. 6th man. He is top 8 rotation. He is top 8 rotation.
I think I'll take Ant over Jason Tatum.
If you're looking at minutes,
No.
he's top 8 rotation easily.
Him and Devin Booker, to me, I mean, when you look at them, I mean, they're doing, not that they're doing the same thing, but they kind of bring the same kind of energy. So I don't know. I just feel like with Jason Tatum, he is an odd man out. You got you got KD, and then on top of that, you got Ant. And you're not taking any of those guys and putting them on the bench for Jason Tatum. I know he's a great player. He's won a championship. But at the end of the day, you know, I think Ant's better, and I also think that KD is still better in the sense of the role he's playing in right now. And he fits better with LeBron. I don't think Jason Tatum really fits with LeBron, just due to the fact that he needs the ball just as much.
It's Team USA. All this stuff is just semantics. None of this stuff matters. We're not building an NBA championship team. We're not pairing Jason Tatum with LeBron James. We're pairing Jason Tatum with Steph Curry, Kevin Durant, Anthony Davis, Bam Adebayo, LeBron James, Devin Booker, Anthony Edwards. We're not pairing him with one of them or two of them. Tyrese Halliburton, Derek White, Drew Holiday, who are his teammates already. You know what I mean? So this has nothing to do with these semantics. At the end of the day, Jason Tatum is one of the best players in the NBA. You have a minimum of 4 players on this team who are not top 10. And yet you're sitting the guy who is guaranteed top 10. Derek White's not a top 10 player in the NBA. Drew Holiday's not a top 10 player in the NBA. Tyrese Halliburton's not a top 10 player in the NBA.
I think
and it is arguable.
Tyrese is up there, though.
Yeah,
he's not a top 10 player in the NBA.
He's a top 5 point guard.
He's sure. Great for him. Great accomplishment.
Yo, give JT some minutes for Nas.
Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is better. Luka Doncic is better. Stephen Curry is better. Jalen Brunson is better. He barely scratches the top 5.
I would say him and Brunson are comparable. I would say that
Jalen Brunson is better, though.
No, I
yes
think
or
Jalen
no?
Brunson's better.
I would not say that.
Somebody has to be better. There's no way they are equal. Somebody has to be better. Because they're two completely different players.
I like
Which player do you feel is more impactful?
I think who is more impactful to a team? Tyrese, absolutely.
Jalen Brunson without a shadow of a doubt.
I think that they fill the same scoring need, but his passing.
What do you mean?
Bro, the points
Tyrese Halliburton averaged 20 points per game. Jalen Brunson just came off with 28 points per game.
Regular season? I don't think so.
Yes, regular season.
I could absolutely be
wrong. I don't remember that. I would have heard about that good little 28.
Somebody else look it up because I got stuff on my computer. But at 28 points per game, the minimum I'll give you is 26. That's still 6 more points than Tyrese Halliburton. Tyrese Halliburton is not a scorer. He can score.
That's not his role.
He can't score. Exactly. So the scoring doesn't even matter. Who cares? The point
basketball ref is not working, so I can't tell.
Oh, really? What a coincidence. What a coincidence.
I can't tell. I don't know. I couldn't load it.
It was 28. You know it was 28. Shut up. You know it was 28.
I kept trying to swipe and it was like,
at the end of the day, who cares? He's top 5 in his position and he barely makes the list. Just barely. It's not like I can sit here and argue De'Aaron Fox might be a better player.
He's not impactful enough,
You are sick.
Come on.
He's just not impactful enough. When he just doesn't. The eye test when I see Jason, he's a good player, but I don't know if you can say he's ever going to be a top 10 player ever.
He is right a now. Top 10 player in the league now.
Ever. I don't think he'll ever scratch top 10. I don't think he'll be
But he
better than
is
Jason
all
Tatum.
time?
I don't think Jason Tatum will ever be better than KD.
You talking about all time?
All time.
Oh yeah, no way. I agree with you.
time.
I agree with you.
How many players in the league right now could get that?
I don't think KD can. I think
I don't
Steph
think
is the only
he's better
person.
than KD. I don't think he's got a better body of work than Steph. I don't think
I agree
he has
with
a
that.
better body of work.
None
I
of
think
none of these players matter in this discussion.
honestly,
Nobody's saying he deserves to play more than them.
no. What I'm telling you, he's not impactful, bro. He's just not impactful. Other than like
Because he's not better than Kevin
not-
Durant.
not an above
You're
average
comparing him to
passer.
all-time greats, though.
I mean,
You're giving
he's
the argument
playing
to,
with all-time greats right
but
now.
you're giving the argument to him by
Exactly.
saying
He's playing with an MVP. He's playing with a bunch of MVPs.
You have to name the greatest players of all time to name somebody better than Jason Tatum.
And that's who he's playing with on this team. And he's not
Exactly.
making an impact. You have LeBron. You have Curry.
wait.
You have
It's
Joel.
team-
Joel's body of work might be better than Jason.
What is your argument? I'm
Of course
confused.
it is.
My
You-
argument is that Jason Tatum is not playing because he's not impactful.
do you understand? Drew Holiday, Derek White, and
More
Tyrese
impactful.
Halliburton all played more.
All
Are they
impactful
better
players,
players than him?
All more impactful than Jason Tatum.
No, they are not. No, they are
Bro.
not.
But is Derek White more impactful?
Technically speaking,
No.
Steve Kerr
Technically-
thinks so.
No, I'm asking
Technically
you.
speaking,
Me?
no.
I
Lit-
think he's a better defender than Jason Tatum
But
when it comes
literally
to
Not talking
no.
about defense, impact.
figuratively
Impact,
speaking,
yeah.
no. Like what the hell?
You're
No.
sick. You're sick.
No.
I'm trying to be honest. I've
That's
been
a
trying
terrible-
not to roast this man, but you're gonna get me to roast him.
That's a
He
terrible
wasn't
thing.
even the best player on his champion. You know what?
Whoop-de-doo,
He's just-
Jaylen Brown had a better playoffs than him 1 year for the first time in his life. Whoop-de-doo. Seven
just
years,
not
7 years in the
impactful.
playoffs. Jason Tatum's been better 6. Jaylen Brown was better 1. Oh my God! Everybody.
Well, wait,
And
wait.
the year that he's
I'm not
better
giving
in the
I'm not giving him
playoffs.
6. I'll give
Hold
him
on.
4.
Hold on.
5.
In the year
Five.
that he
Minimum.
finally
5.
plays.
Jaylen
for-
Brown-
He was better
never-
when the Warriors won.
Jaylen Brown's never been. Jaylen Brown was okay. Jaylen Brown was not better. Jaylen Brown got exposed. Jason Tatum was also not good, but Jaylen Brown was worse.
No,
he got exposed.
you're talking last year against the Warriors. Jaylen Brown. The game
No,
plan
I'm
was
talking against the Warriors. That's who they. The Warriors were the ones who made the world discover Jaylen Brown can't go left.
But they're also the ones that let him play the way he wanted to play to get the score because they didn't want Jason Tatum to play.
Exactly.
I am saying Jason Tatum is a better player. I'm
They
saying
showed that he cannot
playoff.
carry a team. They showed that if he's the best player, you're not winning.
You know what it
you
showed
stop
me?
the player that's going to make them win.
But we were
know
talking
what it
about
showed
who had the
me?
better playoffs. I'm just saying that year he had a better playoffs.
I
I,
guess-
understand that they didn't win.
You know,
that was the game plan.
You know what this all showed me? Because Nas keeps bringing out, oh, he had a good playoffs. That's the only time they won a championship is when he had a good playoffs. It's the only time.
Look who they've been
And
running
listen,
into.
Listen. This is the last thing I'm gonna say with this, right? This is the last thing I'm gonna say. This is gonna be my
Yes,
point. I'm about
yes.
to do it. Listen, Jason Tatum had bad games, and the Celtics still won. Jaylen Brown has a bad game. The Celtics do not win.
No,
That's
that's
not
not
true
true. That's
whatsoever.
not
I'm
true.
gonna be honest with you. What I saw in the playoffs this year, they needed
Honesty
Jaylen Brown.
requires facts, and you have no facts. Jaylen Brown had plenty of bad games. The Celtics won. The Celtics barely lost in the playoffs. Barely.
He had a lot of bad games this playoffs, bro. He didn't have just one.
So did Jaylen
Yeah,
Brown.
very
Bro,
good,
Jaylen
bro.
Brown only beat Jason Tatum off of efficiency. He did not have a phenomenal game. He did not have a phenomenal playoffs. He averaged 20 points. He averaged 20 points. Jaylen Brown, by default, was the next available player to give a Finals MVP to.
That's crazy. He definitely earned
Is
it,
that
bro.
not a fact? What did he do that was so phenomenal?
Listen,
Defensively, he was great.
I think what we can do is we can agree to disagree here. I think Jason Tatum is a phenomenal player.
I do too.
I think, Pluto, you're being wild for comparing him to all-time greats and saying he's not good. There's 5 players on that team where I think Jason Tatum is more impactful.
And
I absolutely think there's 5 more.
Easily. He is more impactful than Devin Booker, more impactful than Derek White. He is more impactful than Tyrese Halliburton.
I love Anthony
what does
Edwards,
Jason
but
Tatum
I'm going
do
to say he's
better
more impactful than
than
Anthony
Devin
Edwards.
Booker?
What?
Oh,
What does Jason Tatum do better than Devin Booker?
Everything-
defense, rebounding, scoring, shooting. He's a better
not
three-point
a better
shooter.
scorer.
Everything
Oh, I
on
think he
the
is.
box score, Jason Tatum is a better player.
Man.
No,
Everything on the
no,
box.
not everything.
Man,
he's not a
you
better
are
passer.
tripping.
Not even close.
He's
Devin
not a
Booker's
better
questionable
passer.
but I'll give you that.
But he
Yes.
is.
I think the scoring's a toss-up. I think the scoring. Jason Tatum has to give me a 70-point game.
Okay, but that's fine. You could say he's a toss-up, but then
Devin
Jason
Booker-
Tatum still beats him more.
You can't say things without context like that.
I'm going to say it the way I'm going to say it because that's the way I see it. I don't see Jason Tatum. I just don't see
The Celtics
what you guys
the
are seeing
Celtics
or what-
admitted
that they purposely allowed Booker to take every shot he wanted, of course you're going to score. Well, of course it can't be the Celtics because that's his team, but let the Mavs go out there and say, we're going to let Jason Tatum shoot 25, 30 times today. I promise you to God, he's scoring 80, 100 points.
All right, let's
If
reel
you
back
allow somebody to I'm just exaggerating to make a point.
We're potting.
If you just allow somebody to score, of course he's going to score. Name me right now, off the top of your head, 3 teammates Devin Booker had on that team.
On that team? It was that one point guard who played for the
that one point guard.
Tyler Ulis.
Google him.
Tyler Ulis.
Google him.
No, Tyler
Google him.
Ulis.
You talking about the
Tyler Ulis. Exactly.
Tyler
Google him.
Ulis and
Somebody,
TJ Warren.
somebody in the comments, tell me who Tyler Ulis is. Is he the guy who fought somebody in an
5'9".
elevator?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
At Devin Booker's apartment.
Yeah.
also Devin Booker's also there with the bandana.
TJ Warren. TJ Warren.
But that was TJ Warren before he was TJ Warren.
Yeah.
That was just TJ.
Yeah.
He became TJ Warren
He was
in the
TJ
bubble.
Warren.
Like, come on, man. Though we have to add context to these debates. We can't just say random facts and think that those facts are going to stick.
Taking the Rashad approach to this, guys.
Yeah, it sounds like it. Listen, at the end of the day, there's no reason to sit Jason Tatum. Now, if you believe that your rotation was going to get us the win that we wanted, I respect that. That's cool. Because maybe matchup-wise, you thought that this group of 10 players would fare better against Serbia than any other group of 10 players. I can respect that. But if you're going to sit here and say that these players played over him because they are better than Jason Tatum, now you're just stretching the imagination.
I'm not saying they're better. I'm saying they're more impactful. I think they're more of a Swiss Army knife than he is. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying his skill set isn't better than them. Obviously, Jason Tatum's better than them. But I'm saying what they bring and the arsenal they bring, I think it's a wide variety of things. We can't sit here and say Jason Tatum's a better defender than Drew Holiday. Can we say that, guys?
No, nobody's
I would never.
Can we say that he's a better perimeter defender than Derek White?
No.
So one thing, great for them.
Okay, and they fit the roles that they're playing. They're playing those roles where they get the last
Team
pass.
USA.
Of course,
These are just
of course.
semantics. This doesn't matter. Jason Tatum's not there to take 10, 15 shots. He's there to just be there because he's great.
Man,
Nobody cares how many shots
could have
Derek White
stayed home.
takes.
He could have stayed
It
home for
doesn't.
that.
So could have Halliburton and Booker. You could send an 8-man roster over there and they're winning gold. You could
think so?
send a 7-man roster over there and they're
Man.
winning gold. You only need 9 players because LeBron's a little old and he needs a little rest. That's it. You need an extra player just to make sure LeBron gets some
Let's
rest.
continue moving forward.
It's a good discussion. It's a good discussion.
All right. Well, last thing about Team USA or the Olympics in general. I did want to discuss other teams' performances, but I didn't really get a chance to research how everybody else is doing. But I do know Wemby's playing great. But Bam Adebayo was the player of the game today.
Yes, 18 points.
18.7 rebounds, which, in a regular basis seems like a normal game for him. But from a Team USA perspective, considering he's playing with so many superstars, that is a phenomenal game. I think he was the leading scorer of the team, possibly. So shout out to Bam Adebayo. If you're watching this, leave a comment. Don't forget, subscribe, like, and share with your friends and family. All right?
Shout out Miami.
I'm going to say that as many times as I can say that today.
Good.
But for the sake of time, we'll jump into our next topic. We're going to go through our fast break of the day. Let me see. Where do I have? We're going to go through our fast break of the day, and then we're going to do our final in and out. Last two weeks ago, we did our in and out for the playoffs. Either way, we'll explain it when we get there. We'll go into a fast break first. Our fast break might prompt some conversations, but we'll see how we can go by this a little fast. We're going to start with Tyus Jones. Fast break news with Nas. The first piece of news of the day. Tyus Jones signs a minimum contract with the Phoenix Suns. What do you guys think? Is that a good move or bad move?
That's such a good pickup for the Suns. They got him on a minimum, bro. Like, what team wouldn't have used a Tyus Jones? He doesn't even have to be a starter for this team. I think that he will. They needed a point guard because, well, Devin Booker looks like he's a good passer and a playmaker. That's not his game, and it actually hampers them. He's not good at making, the entry passes into the post, so Nurkic can't really eat the way that he wants to. He's not good at passing out of doubles. So I think having Tyus Jones, even though he's a very questionable defender, and I think as a team that has championship aspirations, you do need another defender, I still think it's absolutely great. I think it's the best pickup that they could have made for point guard realistically.
What do you think, Orlando?
I think honestly that Titus Jones pickup is something that is going to be impactful later on in the season. You might not even see it during the season. It might be like a playoff thing. But now they have someone they can count on to run the offense. They can get those shots up. And Titus had a good season last year. He was on a really, really bad team, but he was averaging, I think, what, like 6 or 7 assists a game.
He's averaging about 8 assists.
He had the highest assist to turnover ratio.
That's. I mean, really running your offense. You have all these scorers. He should have at least average an assist more, or if not, and he doesn't have to get a bucket anymore. Really, his job is just to make sure they get buckets. So it just all depends. I mean, I think this team, and I don't want to put all this on his shoulders, but it goes as he goes because he's going to be the one distributing the ball. So it's a good pickup. And what Tyler said, I want to expound on that defender. They do need to go get a trade for a defender. I think they do need another perimeter defender, someone they can throw in there like a Dylan Brooks or a Lou Dort, someone they can just have the primary defender.
Yeah, I don't think there's anybody available of that caliber.
We'll see. I mean, we'll see. We can go get Jonathan Isaac. They can make some picks. I mean, did they get a bunch of picks back?
The issues. Remember their second apron.
Oh yeah, never mind.
No, they're not gonna get a player of that caliber, but somebody could definitely come out of nowhere for whatever reason.
Yeah,
but
sure.
I think it's a great pickup for them. Tyus Jones, he averaged 7 assists per game last year. I think the assists per game go down because it's not really about the talent around you when it comes to assists. Your actual ball handling matters just as much as well.
Yeah.
So I think he won't have the ball in his hands enough to really distribute it as much as he did with the Wizards. They really didn't have anybody except Jordan Poole, and we, as we started this podcast, we know how we feel about him, or at least how I do. But I think it's great. I think ideally he should start. I think the front office is going to be stubborn, and they just will not bring Beal off the bench. But I genuinely believe they need to and they have to. You bring Beal off the bench and you actually give IT minutes. You have now you have a real roster. You know what I mean? You have a legitimate roster. Your center position is a little weak. Nurkic is just not. I just feel like the more years that pass, the less impactful Nurkic can be. You know what I mean? I think there was a point in his career where he was a really good center to have, but more and more years pass, it kind of starts fading away.
They don't use him right either. Nurkic played very similar to earlier Jokic, where he's a good post passer.
Mm-hmm.
He's a post up guy consistently, and he draws the doubles and he knows how to pass out of them. Also, great mid range game, but you can't do that on a team like this.
Yeah.
So he's stuck to really just defense and rebounding. And I mean, how many injuries has he been through? And he's old.
Can they trade Nurkic? What's his contract looking like?
Pretty decent. It's like $20 million, I think.
So they can make a trade for someone who's making $20 million on the dot, just like him.
Mm-hmm.
Can they make trade for 2 players that are making $20 million?
No, it has to be 1 for 1. Can't aggregate salaries.
We should definitely have a discussion. Maybe not this podcast, but a podcast later to see if we can.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to.
I get a whiteboard.
I'm gonna have to watch a YouTube video and learn all these aprons and
yeah,
stuff.
Me too.
But yeah, my original point was, they compensated for having a Nurkic who's fading away a little bit, but they compensated by getting a good big man rotation in Plumlee, which gives you some flexibility there.
Underrated pickup too.
If they can bring Bill off the bench and start Tyus Jones, they have a legitimate roster. You know what I mean? They have the type of roster that you're kind of looking for. You know what I mean? When you look at Tyus Jones, he's your ideal point guard for a stacked team. Somebody who doesn't demand the ball too much and does the little things very well. You can start somebody like Grayson Allen, who is a phenomenal 3-and-D guy. He's the ideal person you want to have around.
I totally
these
forgot
players.
about him.
Devin Booker's going to have to be the 3 at this situation, but then you have a versatile 3. You know what I mean? Devin Booker's not really going to change the game defensively, but it's going to help.
He's also not short. He's 6'5". I mean, that's
6'6".
6. That is around the length of
he can fit a small forward role. It's just not the play style for him. But he can make it work better than he can make point guard work in my opinion.
So KD's going to be there 4 regardless.
Yeah, I would put KD at the 4 if it's.
He's kind of been the 4 lately, even since the Nets.
Yeah, if I'm deciding the lineup, I'm putting KD at the 4 for sure, and then of course Nurkic would be their 5. And then you have Beal as a 6th man, which I think now you have a rotation that really matters. Okogie can come off the bench and do the dirty work.
So they do have a perimeter defender.
Plumlee's a good backup center to have for rotational purposes. He's going to do some little things here and there, but I think it's a good pickup overall. Next piece of basketball news. I didn't know this until this year, but Chase Budinger is actually playing volleyball at the Olympics, and apparently he's very good.
I would say, based on what I've read, I haven't actually had a chance to watch, but based on what I've read, he might be a better volleyball player than he was a
The
basketball
Honey
player.
Badger. I think his nickname was the Honey Badger or the Red something Honey Badger. But yeah, I think it's dope
He
that
was in the dunk contest, wasn't he?
I
yeah,
don't remember much about
Nope.
it. I'm not gonna lie.
he was. He's also a freak of nature. I think he was around the time. I don't know if you guys remember when they were pushing out Gordon Hayward. They were pushing out who else was it? It was him, and then who was the kid from Orlando, the tall kid who got in a car accident?
Parsons.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys remember that time when they were pushing all those small forwards out. I just feel like when it comes to what he's doing, it's a test.
I think the audience can kind of put together what you're trying to say here.
Oh yeah, of course. That's why I didn't say it. But
While they're pushing out a bunch of Caucasian small forwards.
yeah, that was just it didn't happen. But yeah, I mean he who can jump? Who can jump? But with Chase, I think it's a testament to what Austin Rivers says. I think there's NBA players that can definitely just go into a different sport and do good or become Olympic athletes. So like I said, I think basketball is more of a versatile sport. Again, the story is about Chase. Shout out to Chase. Hopefully he brings back the gold for America because it's bigger than just basketball in general. But yeah, shout out to Chase. And also, another thing about him is that
Let's not forget this is fast break news.
I'll be quick. He's
I didn't
tall
think
as
Chase
shit.
Budinger was going to cause this type of
I
commotion.
love Chase. That's a good. He could jump, man.
I never really followed his career too much. I'm not going to lie.
Really?
But,
Okay.
I mean, he wasn't really anything
No, he
phenomenal.
wasn't. No.
But yeah, I don't even know what teams they play.
But either way, moving on. These
Tyler,
next
don't
two,
say so.
I don't know anything.
these next two, hopefully we can get through them faster because I want these last two to be our focus of the day.
Okay.
But our next two, the FBA Finals, this is just more of an announcement for those of you who are watching, and hopefully we can cut this up into a quick clip that I can post, just for the sake of putting some, what's the word I'm looking for, awareness out there. But the FBA Finals, Game 2 is this Saturday, August 3rd at 6:30 p.m. at Seminole State College. The Claremont Crocs look to pull it off and get a Game 3 going. And Florida Flight on the other side are trying to close it out. It is a two out of 3 series, so best of 3 series. Florida Flight won that Game 1, and they're looking. It was actually a very exciting game. I'm actually going to see if I can possibly post a link on the screen when I edit this. But it was a very fun game, double overtime, very exciting.
Wow, that's awesome.
Enrique murdered a human being. Grant Gullett hit a clutch shot. Kevin Rolock hit a clutch shot. Overall, just a phenomenal game. I definitely encourage everybody to go watch this game on YouTube. It was very fun. It really had a professional basketball environment to it. And then the crowd was phenomenal. We had almost 150 plus people in there. Not even enough bleachers to sit everybody. So
That's awesome, man.
that was an exciting game. Really wish my Serpents would have been a part of it, but me and Berta were there. We watched the game from the sideline, and I helped out with some content and all that stuff. Posted a bunch of stuff on YouTube. You guys can check on Instagram. I meant to say you guys can check it out on Instagram too. There's a bunch of highlights and a bunch of clips of moments throughout the game. But very exciting. Were you gonna say something?
It's a good little segue.
I was saying,
for
that
me
was
to-
wild.
You look like you were gonna say something, but yeah, it was super fun. It was a great game. It was super. It had everything. It had everything. It had buzzer beaters. It had double overtime. It had dunks. It had posters. It
That's
had
beautiful.
It had crossovers. It had everything. It was a phenomenal game. I think that could arguably be the best game of the whole season. Arguably. I don't even think it's arguable. That was the best game of the whole season. That is easily the best game of the entire FBA season
That's
this year.
awesome.
But moving on to the next one, the Orlando Women's Basketball League in Winter Park Rec is currently going on. So I just wanted to give a quick shout out to them. I haven't taken the time out to meet the people in charge or to get to know anybody. But I'm trying to go out there. Tuesdays I have basketball practice with my AAU squad, so I can't really go out there. But whenever it rains and we can't do practice, I end up going over there. Yesterday I ended up coming here to play 2K, so I didn't get a chance to go stop by. But it was the first day I went. Was their week 1. Sorry, I can't talk English today. Was their week 1, and it was very exciting. It was good. There was a lot of good players. For those of you who may not be aware, I'm actually looking to start my own women's team as connected to the Serpents in a way. And there was a couple players that I actually hit up. I'm very interested to see if they'll stop by the tryouts. But it's very cool what they're doing.
I can ask Noah.
It's very cool what they're doing.
She's fast as hell.
So shout out to the Orlando Women's Basketball League. I like what they're doing. It's a rec league, but I like their growth. I like what they're doing, and hopefully they can escalate to something bigger. Because I have a team coming in. I need a league to play in. So if you guys escalate to something a little bigger, something a little bit more prominent, I would love to have a conversation about joining them. In that same note, the FBA themselves are considering the idea of a women's league. So we'll see how that goes. Speaking of women, perfect segue to finish off the day. We probably won't have time for our in and out today, so we might leave it for next week. But our last two segments of the day,
Why don't we just go to in and out instead?
Oh, because I really want to talk about these next two. I have two more things on the fast break that I decided to add last minute and surprise the guys, but you guys can already see it on the screen. Brittany Griner tells reporter to call her Pops and not Mom.
This guy.
I'm going to give my opinion before you guys give yours.
Man, please, guys, tread lightly. Tread lightly.
Listen, I'm going to tell you straight up. I think it's. I'll tell you one thing. I don't care about anybody's choices in life. I don't care whatsoever. So that's not where this is going at all. I have nothing negative to say. I have funny things to say, but I don't have anything negative to say. I don't care about anybody's choices. I don't care about how you choose to live your life. All I care about is peace, love, and happiness at the end of the day. You know what I mean? If you are living a peaceful life, if you are happy in your life, and if you are spreading love to those around you, that's all that matters. You know what I mean? But what I will say is one side of this argument that I'm not a huge fan of is this double standard that we live in. I feel like if a man chose to say that the opposite way, he would get slandered. You know what I mean? But I feel like a woman chooses to say that she wants to be addressed as Pops. Now, I actually don't know if it was a joke or if she legitimately wants to be addressed as Pops, but based on how she's trending, I think it probably is a real thing that she wants. I just think the double standard sucks. I think it's weird to me how things can never work the same way for two sides of the story. You know what I mean?
Never.
It's like one side has to work one way, the other side has to work the other. Why can't we all just live in peace? You know what I mean? Like I just said, peace, love, and happiness.
One thing I wonder about, if for the WNBA, if you identify as a man, I do think that's interesting to be able to play for the WNBA still. I never really thought about that.
I don't think Orlando's laughing, but I'm pretty sure Tyler means it seriously. But
no, I'm dead serious.
I know. I'm trying not to laugh.
Like that is weird. That's interesting. I don't know if that's ever happened.
I'll give you my honest opinion.
So
I don't think it
water
actually
man.
matters because at the end of the day, and this is where I'm going to try my hardest not to be insensitive. I don't mean this negatively. Like I said, I support anybody's choices in life, whatever it is, as long as it has peace, love, and happiness behind it. You know what I mean? And that's what I tell people all the time. Peace, love, and happiness, and no harm. That's all that matters to me. If you're not causing harm to yourself or to people around you, I support any decision you make. So I don't care if Brittany Griner is leaning towards the direction of identifying as a man. That's okay with me, man.
Yeah.
If I ever were to meet her...
Well, no, she's
which
not
I would
leaning. She's not leaning. She cut off her breasts.
Oh, so she's doing that. Okay.
Full, she's Pops.
Okay, so then I didn't know that. Okay, so then if that's what she wants, then if I ever meet her, I would love to. I'm a basketball fan. She's a basketball star. I would love nothing more than to meet Brittany Griner. And if I ever met Brittany Griner, I would address her as however the hell she wants to be addressed. But to go to your comment, I don't think it matters because how you identify doesn't change the... I think it all depends on the WNBA. I think it depends on how their rules are set up. And what type of leniency they're going to show towards
I never considered
so
that.
gender identity.
I'm excited. I'm probably going to get that Boogie versus Brittany Griner matchup I've been tied for.
Boogie's washed.
I think
this Brittany Griner would win that right now. Right now, Brittany Griner would win that right now.
Bro, are you
No,
serious?
I doubt it.
With the amount of injuries that Boogie has, the dunk contest, I don't think Boogie can dunk
I
anymore.
don't care if Boogie got one hand.
I don't think he can dunk anymore, though. It was a dunk contest.
I don't really think dunking really plays a role here.
No, it was a dunk contest.
No, I know, but I don't think dunking's going to affect his
weight
ability
does.
to kill her. Like I don't think,
Oh yeah, of course, but they
or kill him if I'm
My bad, yeah,
if
kill
I'm
him.
being correct. I don't know.
No, Griner challenged Boogie to a dunk contest. That's why I said that, though.
Oh really?
Yeah,
Are you serious?
that's what it was back
All
then.
she
Yeah,
has is like a top.
it was never a one-on-one. It was only dunks.
No, the interview definitely was asking who could beat the one-on-one for sure.
they initiated with that, and then eventually they led to
Oh,
something
okay,
else.
that makes sense.
But they initiated with the one-on-one. But either way, I think it all depends on the WNBA. Just to cap off that topic, I think it depends on how they're going to set their rules. It's not unfair. Identifying as a man doesn't make you a man, you know, it genetically speaking, you know what I mean? So, like, you're not going to have the advantages genetically, you know what I mean? Like, that's what would make it unfair is if you have the you know, I'm no scientist, but like the testosterone, you know what I mean? That makes you potentially faster and stronger, you know? And even if she were to take testosterone, which is something that people do, I don't think, maybe I'm wrong. Once again, if you have somebody who's an expert in the comments, feel free.
It does impact you. It takes, I think, 8 months to a year to start feeling the impacts of testosterone.
So then I think
of that level.
So then at that point, then that's something the WNBA has to consider as, you know, if this is going to.
Are they allowed to take testosterone?
Wouldn't that be considered a performance enhancer at that point?
It's a PED still.
Yeah, so that would be considered so she can't take performance enhancing drugs.
This
in
is
the WNBA,
so interesting.
right?
We should really dig into this deeper another time.
Yeah, I'm down.
Because this is interesting.
I'm definitely down to do some research and then come back.
Be empathetic about it, like in your approach with it, because this is really interesting. I never really considered somebody transitioning or identifying differently, because it's the women's national basketball league, so that is very interesting.
Yeah, it is very interesting, and I want to finish off this part just by saying once again I have nothing against it whatsoever. That is not what I'm trying to portray here at all. I genuinely could care less about anybody's decisions, and I support anybody's decision, whether it's a stranger or a friend or a family member. You come to me and let me know if that's the decision you're making. That is a decision that I'm going to support always. So I have nothing negative to say about that. I'm just curious on, you know, one, the comments were funny to me a little bit, but you know, I respect them. And then two, Tyler brought up a good point about the WNBA, so I would be interested to research that and maybe bring that up another day. And then last but not least, my last surprise was Jalen Duren and Angel Reese seem to be spending time together. That's what all the articles are saying. Apparently they went on a little mini vacation together, and speculation is that they were dating or, you know, working towards dating, or maybe just, you know, hanging out, having fun.
That's
going to
be some tall-ass kids.
They could have two of the worst defensive kids combined together. I'm telling you.
So the best rebounding kids.
They're going to have one of
I'm going to talk. Durant is the worst.
They're going to have the best rebounding baby in history.
Oh,
God. They are.
High hustle.
Go ahead, Tyler. You got something to say?
That's all I got.
I really have a lot.
I'm going to shout out KD, though, because I thought KD was dating her, and I thought that was weird. Because that age difference
I thought she
crazy.
was in a throuple with Jaylen Brown and his girl.
Oh.
No. She's everywhere.
No, I had some comments on that with my friends, but
they made it seem like it was like that. Like the media made it seem like it was like that.
Yeah, I'm not gonna share those comments on YouTube whatsoever. So YouTube, don't worry, you don't gotta cancel me just yet.
But I will. Throuple.
But yeah, I did think that was interesting. I think it's cool when the Hoopers get together. I think it's I feel like it's that what's the word I'm looking for? It's like that common mind thing. You know what I mean? I feel like it's a special bond when somebody shares the same love that you do. Yeah. You know what I mean? So, well, of course, these are just rumors of them spending time together. There's nothing that's been released that they are together or anything. So, I'm not gonna go as far as to say congratulations on your new relationship. But you know. You guys enjoy yourselves, man. I just wanted to bring up the fact that is news that's been out there.
Jalen Duren needs a win. The Pistons did not get many this year, so anything he can get.
This will be his first win of the year.
Honestly.
I will say this, though, and I want to touch on that topic and get a little serious, I guess, with Nas. It is cool when you see two people who are, like, at the highest level possible get together and have a child, because 9 times out of 10, that child only knows professionalism when it comes to the sport. So I just feel like it's pretty cool, and it's like keeping it in the family kind of thing in a good way. I like. I'm here for the Hoopers.
It doesn't happen often, though. I can't think
of
of any athletes that got together off the top of my head.
Usually, it's like a pro athlete in a different sport.
Like
soccer.
Yeah, yeah. Kelsey Plum and her husband.
There you go.
But they're divorced now. But ex-husband, yeah. You had Drew Holiday and Morgan.
Diana Taurasi is married to someone that played against her in the Olympics.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Yeah. She beat them.
Well, there are 2 WNBA players that are engaged.
actually.
On the same team.
On the same team, yeah.
Alyssa Thomas and DeWanna Bonner.
Jason Collins probably dated a couple of his teammates.
Oh, okay.
And that's our
I actually have a
episode for
question.
today.
Before we go, I think we can save this for next time. Do you think that there is more men in the NBA that are gay than came out and admitted it?
Oh yeah, 100%. I
Okay.
think we live in.
that's in general.
What would you say that percentage is?
Yeah, in general, I don't know. I don't know about the percentage.
I'm
but
not gonna do that.
I can't think of a number that makes sense. But I
Come up with a number for next week for the question.
No. How many gay NBA players do you guys think we have?
Yeah, I think the world we live in, people are too uncomfortable still with coming out. So I don't know who, but I'm just saying the possibility is there. I can't guarantee it. Maybe the percentage is 0. Maybe the percentage is 50. We don't know, but there might be. The chances that there is very large. But that's our episode for today. Thank you guys for joining us again. Next time you see us, we will have our first 2K game up on YouTube. So
Yes, sir.
you guys make sure you subscribe. Make sure you comment below. You can talk all the shit you want with us on the comment section.
Real quick.
Like, share, do whatever you gotta do.
Real
Pluto's
quick.
gonna interrupt me. Go ahead.
Guys, sorry guys. I forgot to say this in the beginning of the podcast. I am taking a hiatus from my Instagram and social media for a little bit. I do have my partners here to let me know what's going on. And I am pretty active in the YouTube comments. But yeah, I'm just taking a little hiatus, personal things. But yeah, real quick. Sorry, Nas.
Yeah, he's got a court date tomorrow morning.
No, I do not.
Actually, he just came from court.
Assalamu alaikum.
So we won't be seeing Pluto for a long time. But
Yeah.
that's our podcast for today. I'll go ahead and repeat the same stuff just so you guys don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, and share with all your friends and family, man. We love your support so far, and we will love the support of all the people around you. We really need it to be able to grow. But we appreciate you guys for tuning in every week. Those of you who are tuning in, all 20 of our viewers. But
Hey,
Love you.
that's all we got for
consistently
today,
there.
man. Let's check it up and let's hoop talk next week.
Let's do it.
Kobe.